No, I got to lean in.
What is up, everybody? As you can see, you've got Danny and myself here to recap the season finale of season 6 of The Real Housewives of Miami, titled, I think it was Havana Nights. As you guys know, we have spent the entire season recapping these live. Last weekend, Danny and myself, along with other members of the Lean, were away at a cabin on a team building trip. It was very nice. We had a lot of laughs, a lot of liquor. What we did not have was reliable internet. And so if you watched the Traders stream that we attempted to do, you would see that it was extremely low budget, extremely grainy, and we kept cutting in and out. So Danny and I talked and said, for this, we would wait until we get back home and give you guys our review on some reliable internet. So we will be back this week live recapping the reunions. We have not discussed how that's going to go because Bravo pulled a fast one on us and gave us 2 episodes back to back. So Wednesday night, Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're doing the episode 1 of the Miami reunion after Beverly Hills is Normal. But then as we are scheduled to record episode 1 of the reunion, they are also going to be dropping episode 2. Danny can probably agree with me. We are not in the headspace to try to plan out multiple other things. So
the only way I'm thinking it could work where y'all could do both on Thursday is if the reunion airs at 8 a.m., you could do like at 9 a.m. cover episodes 1 and 2 of the reunion.
a.m.
Like, 8 p.m.
I won't be here at 9. I won't be here at 8 a.m.
That's just what I'm saying. See, we're still.
This is what we're putting up with.
And at the top off what Jamie said about bad cell phone service, I lost my cell phone at the beginning of the trip. Finally back up and running. But,
there we go.
Oh,
Sammy also lost his phone with Danny. Sammy has not got a cell phone. The last message we got.
We don't need to tell
we're going to tell it. We're going to tell it. The last text message we received was about 30 minutes ago. Sammy said, "Pray for me. I'm going down to FedEx to show my ass." So if you watch any of the episodes where Sammy shows his ass, you will believe Sammy when he says he's going to cuss somebody out. So pray for those workers. Pray for the FedEx people. But other than lost cell phones and horrible cell service, we had a fantastic time, just really fellowshipping with each other, laughing. We had games. We made some videos, reenactments. So I think you guys have some content that is going to be uploaded to our page at some point once everybody signs the waiver and is fully ready to get embarrassed on the internet more than what we normally do whenever we come on here. So the only way to know when we drop those is to like and subscribe to our channel, turn on your notifications so that way you guys can see the shenanigans that the entire team was up to over the weekend. But I'm very glad to be back. Danny, I know I said I wasn't going to drink, but I have 3 beers left that I need to get rid of before I start my cleanse. So pray for me.
Yeah, let's go. Because I got double duty today.
I know.
Potomac.
Danny is getting ready to hop on what? Potomac, right?
Yeah.
In an hour. So we're going to try to get him out of here in about 30 minutes. And if you guys watched the episode, there wasn't a whole lot of big stuff happening. It was kind of the last 20 minutes or so at the Havana party was when things really picked up. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just kind of mush some stuff together and Danny will give us the feedback. He and I kind of already talked about it when we were taking notes. Let's see how this goes, guys. Again, like, subscribe to this video, share it, turn on your notifications, and let's hop right in. So right off the back, we see Larsa and Marcus are prepping for their podcast. Larsa kind of tells him the conversation that she had with Kiki and Adriana about them asking or inquiring what really was going on in the relationship because Marcus's dad said he did not approve of it. They both are kind of on this same, story that he was just joking. He was laughing. He was making a joke to the reporter and the reporter kind of ran with it. I don't know if I completely believe it, but it sounds a little bit plausible. Marcus kind of says that, he when they spend more time with each other, MJ will approve. He just wants his son to be happy. But if there is a problem, the only person that is going to be talking to his dad is going to be him. And at the end of the day, he loves his dad, but his mom is really who he's concerned with the opinion with. And apparently, according to both of them, his mother likes Larsa. Simultaneously, Gertie and Nicole are meeting up, and Nicole is kind of talking about her journey to have another baby. And this is the first month where kind of her hormones are back in, and she's feeling like, all right, let's do it. We're going to try. And this kind of made me smile, knowing now that she did announce her pregnancy. She is, I think, maybe like 2 or 3 months away from giving birth. Very, very excited to see that with them. Gertie is starting her chemo. And it starts a few days after the finale party. So she's a little bit relieved that she doesn't have to start that while still committed to, obviously, the filming duties and stuff. Mm-hmm. She said that she's come to terms with talking about the chemo and she's in a good place, which is why she was so upset with Larsa about taking that power away from her. She knew that she just needed time to wrap her head about the severity of the situation. The conversation turns to Larsa naturally, and apparently Larsa was on her podcast talking about how somebody, asked her a question about the upcoming season or a paparazzi or something, and Larsa said that a co-star bit her. Also talked about how Gertie bit her. We get a flashback of the scene, and it very much was like Gertie playfully like biting her on the shoulder, talking about how the two of them are good now. The way that it was kind of brought out in the press was saying, Larsa was saying, people aren't getting along. It's an explosive season. Someone bit her. Naturally, Gertie's pissed. Given all of the stuff that Larsa has talked about in the press, Gertie just wants her to shut up. Gertie, thought that they were in a good place. She's tired. Larsa keeps dropping these tidbits, and it has just kind of reawakened the animosity that Gertie's like, I thought we had this buried. So, Danny, what are Larsa, I know you don't want to care about Larsa, Marcus, but do you think Gertie is right to still be upset about this?
Yeah. So here's the thing: was Larsa correct in saying she could say her name? 100%. But my thing is, Larsa, what were you trying to do when saying that a cast member bit you without adding the context that she bit you playfully, and in the moment you smiled and laughed with her about it? Like, it seems to me that exactly what Gertie said, that it is clickbait.
Yes.
Into thinking, because then you did add that context to it, and then when people turn around and watch the episode, they're gonna say, "Oh, so that was Gertie who bit her." There had to be more to it because they only seen that, but we know Larsa was bad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was definitely done playfully, and I think that if it didn't need to be mentioned at all, but if you were, why not add the whole context to it at least? Like, my cast members bit me playfully, and my arm still hurts. Like,
yeah,
that it could have been just that simple.
Yeah, she didn't have no bruise or nothing. No, like we would have known she got bit if she hadn't brought it up.
And then the whole Marcus and Larsa thing. I'm about to say Marca. The whole Marcus and Larsa thing. I think what Marcus said is fair. The one who will be talking to his dad is him. And I think all this could have not been such a bigger scandal. I'm gonna use this scandal with the ladies.
Very lightly.
With the ladies, is it had when Larsa was asked about it. If she just said, I really don't know. We don't really talk about his fathers. We're not looking for anyone else's approval. If you would have just said that, it would have killed anything. Like, when it comes up that the dad said, oh, yeah, I don't approve. It would have been like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Now that I know, and it still doesn't change nothing. Like, it literally could have been her trying to say everything is good, And then we also have to understand that Marcus could have very well told her that he's okay with things.
Yeah.
Now, the part that I think is questionable was her saying, yeah, well, we've hung out, we've seen each other.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like that happened.
Yeah. Did not seem like, because Marcus's story is like, yeah, he just doesn't know you well enough. He hasn't been around you. And I'm like, well, which one of that is true? Because Larsa made it seem like things were just cool. You were kicking.
I feel like he'd been around her and he came to the conclusion. The thing is, he does know her because they were together during the. Weren't her and Scotty together back then, or was Scotty already retired when she got with him?
Don't give me the line. I have no idea.
No, she probably was retired because they won the championships like in the mid 90s and late 90s, so they were already.
Yeah. And Miami came out around 2011. I'm going to say 2011 or 20. Yeah. The one thing that I will give Larsa, and I agree with you, Danny, had she just approached this a certain way. Like you can, and I think she was kind of lying and trying to cover it up because one, I think she understands that anything negative that she would say about that connotation eventually hurts her relationship with her boyfriend and it strains familial relationships. So she's at least smart enough to say, I'm not going to talk shit on camera about my family. But an active just like, I was a little surprised or whatever, but I'm going to let Scotty take the lead. Or Scotty. Ooh. I'm going to let Marcus take the lead, and that's Marcus's business with his dad. That I can't talk, like, that's none of my business. And that would have did it. But her, oh no, it's fine. He was joking. It was this, it was that. It's like you're and one, the fact that she has been pretty secretive and weird about the like, I don't know. I agree with you. Like, Larsa's not good at on the spot lying. A lot of things, she's not a liar, but she may be messy. So I don't know. I agree with you on that. So it's moving day for Alexia. She has Peter and Frankie together, and they're all moving into the apartment. We know that they caught the one that was just kind of last minute, according to her. There were no other options. She talks to Peter about her going to Italy, doing a vacation with what's her new husband's name? Todd. And the combo turns to Frankie. And she kind of tells Frankie, go to your room or whatever. Peter and I are going to talk. And she, kind of tells Frankie that conversation came up about the estate and estate planning and making sure things and affairs are in order, planning for the future, particularly as it pertains to Frankie's care and his well-being. We all know he's had an accident almost 10 years ago that took a majority of his cognitive function and his ability to move and interact the way that he once was. And this entire season, one of the best storylines I've seen is her working with different organizations to kind of bring some independence to Frankie now that his life has been altered. Alexia talks about at one point thinking about Peter becoming Frankie's guardian and said, back then I don't want you as his guardian. You weren't ready. And he agrees. And I'm like, this is the smartest thing you ever said. We all know that he was not ready. But she, I think she understands that she's coddling him and has coddled him. And when it came down to like making a decision about is he a man enough to take care of another human being, it made her pause and made her be like, I don't, he's not. Even though the man is 30, like, how old is he? Like 31, 32?
Well, how old is he and how old does he look are two different questions.
We won't go there.
But you know what, Jamie? I agree with her that, and I agree with him when he said, he wouldn't have put himself down either. But one thing I've never doubted is that he is crazy about his brother.
Oh, absolutely.
And loves him. And I really think that even if that happened and he wasn't ready, he would have grew up fast.
Yeah. Like any parent or anybody who becomes a parent before they're like, quote unquote, ready. So yeah, that's what, the conversation continues. And, he kind of lands on it. He was like, if it happens and if that is what I have to do, it's not a question. I'm taking care of Frankie. Frankie makes me happy.
That was so sweet.
And I was like, I love that. And, you can see in Alexia, like Alexia does a lot of avoiding. And we've seen that on the show. We've talked about it. She doesn't talk about stuff. She tends to live in a world where certain things don't exist if she ignores them. So to see in her eyes, like you could tell thinking about Frankie and the possibility of his safety when she is not there, like really like tore her up. And I think, what was it? Before the scene, he arrived to the new place in his own Uber, right? Like, was this the scene that he took the Uber?
No, he took the Uber and later on to the shop.
Okay. So kudos to Alexia for taking that step and understanding that there are other people that need to be involved in his care. He did that one little thing.
But what I will say, Alexia said something to me that still annoyed me. In the confessional, she said she was glad to see Peter take this step, and people only focus on the negative and don't talk about these things. And I really wanted to shake the TV, pretending it was her shoulder, and say, all we ever see is the negative from Frankie. It's not, from Peter. That's all we ever see. So it's like, this is the first good thing we've seen.
Yeah. And it's also like saying something like that makes it sound like, oh, people just see that he really can't keep a job or he's spoiled. Maybe he allegedly beat up his girlfriend and he beat up a homeless person and he used racist slurs. Like this.
Alleged.
Look. There are court cases that are documented.
Not alleged. We saw those with our own eyes on it.
We saw the tweets. So it's like, Alexia, I understand, but like, let's not water down the fact that people have active reason to kind of think he's kind of a douchebag. So,
Yeah.
like, great, he loves his brother. I'm sure Hitler loved his wife, and Hitler even loved some of his friends. But like, it don't take away from the fact that he was Hitler.
And at the end of the day, I also try to put myself in her shoes. Like, I'm not going to down my kid online either. I'm just not. So I
Yeah,
probably, who knows if I was in that situation, if I would say anything different than she did,
yeah. I mean, she's a Latina mom. She probably does cuss him out behind closed doors.
I have
Hopefully,
a feeling she
he
doesn't.
don't act like it. He don't act like it.
I have a feeling she doesn't. I feel like she is that mother who, even when she tries to be stern, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's her. That's her king. He's the king of the castle. He's the man of the house.
She's seen him retreat and disappear for months when they
Yeah.
go at it. So, and she's the type where she can't stand not being in contact with her kids. So I don't think she
Yeah.
would not. She can't. She would be able to concentrate on anything.
Well, speaking of mothers, Lisa has wine with her mom and her aunt, planning a vacation with Jody, and the mom is going to watch the kids. I was a little confused because and our viewers mentioned a couple of times over the last episodes that their understanding was that her and her mother didn't have a great relationship. She didn't have a great relationship with any of her parents. But the way that this scene came to flowed out, I was like, you would have thought y'all hang out all the damn time.
No, our viewers consistently says she has no family, period.
Yeah.
I mean, which again, I'm sure
that's what Lisa has said. Lisa's like, I don't have family.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think our viewers were wrong in saying that, because that is what Lisa has said, that she doesn't have. Maybe what she meant is she don't have family there. Maybe that they're all in Canada, but she didn't say that.
Yeah.
But then, for as much of how much Lisa can talk, she doesn't communicate the best. You still never get the proper way of how she's trying to express herself.
Well, and she brings that up. She's I think from what she said, the mother had been there to visit, but it's been a while. She went down to visit for the holidays and stuff. And I think she did mention, like, it's so hard you guys living in Canada. But the mother and the aunt are, as much as they go up for her, they do not like Lenny, and they do not like Lenny's mama. They made it very clear that those people put themselves above others. They complained that Lenny's mama talked to them like garbage, talked to them like the help. The aunt was like, I don't like that man. I don't like what he did. I can't wait till you're away from him. I never liked him. So it was good to see kind of Lisa surrounded by some women that were supporting her. I'm hoping that if she comes back, like the Lenny talk is done, we see more of her mom, because this scene kind of humanized her a little bit. Like, we've all been so tired of Lisa. You do. I think I have a soft spot for people with families.
I just got that I like her aunt. That's all I got from this.
I like her aunt will get drunk and cuss somebody. She would chew Lenny's mama out if she could.
The mother as well. I didn't like when she said, I stopped coming because I didn't want to see Lenny. But you didn't have to stay. You could have still came in town and seen your daughter. You didn't have to stay with them. Like, you could have literally said, Lisa, I'm here. Like, that's a long time to go without seeing your child. I don't care how old you are. And again, I can't pretend to understand that just because Lisa has had money while she's been with Lenny, that the parents are in a good financial situation, because based on where Lisa said she was working and stuff before she met Lenny, they're probably not a very well-to-do family financially. So I could have spoke out of turn in stating that nothing should be you should still come visit your child in town. Miami's not a cheap place to visit.
But I mean, Lisa could have rented a hotel. Okay,
Lenny
you don't want to stay with me.
There. Lenny probably would have they can come. They don't have to stay here. Sure, take the car.
He would have been great.
You can stay. Matter of fact, why don't you get the biggest suite and you stay there with them?
You stay there too. We're good. Well, we get a little scene with Julia and Adriana. Julia is launching, what is it, a farm to glam?
Farm
to glam. Because I remember seeing, I was like, wouldn't it be farm to fabulous or something? Because Julia's a lot of things. She had never been glam. But good for her. And apparently it's her jams, it's her jellies. And she's telling Adriana she's going to sell them for $30. And Adriana's like, I'm going to need you to be a little more realistic. Jam is like $5 to $10. Like, no one's going to buy a $30. And like, Julia genuinely did not understand. She was like, but it's fresh fruit. Like, I made it with my hands. And Adriana's like, okay, girl, whatever you think is going to work. Combo turns to Adriana's party at Emilio's, and Julia is just Adriana's kind of saying she wants everybody there. She's hoping like everybody can get along and everybody can like calm down and not act up at Emilio's party, because Emilio Estefan is not just like some dude with money. He's Emilio Estefan, and everybody in Miami knows Emilio Estefan. Julia said that she accidentally got a pig or something. She calls her wife Voldemort and is like, hey, I got a pig, and thought that the wife would be mad. And the wife's like, okay, cool. Like, I'm glad you're doing a good deed. So that was a cute little whatever. So this is the big meat and potatoes before we get to the party. Gertie and Russell are prepping to cut Gertie's hair. And Gertie is recording it and is allowing cameras in there. She said earlier on in the season that she was going to control every single aspect of her cancer journey. We have talked about that. People, even online and even in our comments, they didn't understand why they didn't take the season off or why she was still around. And we all said that we supported. We thought it was great that she documented this journey. Women in particular who are battling cancer, the big part is the hair. And I can't imagine as a Black woman, just that added layer of attachment to hair, and then how the emotional impact that this had on her. And you could see it. It was all on her face. She had her hair in braids. She was telling Russell, let me start it. And there was that control. Let me start it until I can't do it. Then you can go on and do it. And so she's crying, she's breaking down, and she finally starts clipping out or cutting out her braids. And Russell's just kind of there hugging her, holding on to her. And when she can't physically do it anymore, Russell kind of takes over. We get a quick, almost like a fade to black, and we see a confessional. Gertie kind of walks in. We just see her from the knee down. When she sits down, the camera pans up and she's got a freshly shaved head. She takes a quick breath and smiles and just says, I'm ready. And that's where this particular scene ends. So me personally, I thought this was one of the best scenes in Housewives that we have gotten. And that last little bit of her just smiling and let's do this. That was a great scene. What do you think?
So for me, it was tough because, I think losing your hair or making the decision to cut your hair before you lose it would be tough for anyone.
Yeah.
But I think for Black women especially, I think that is a particularly tough thing for them to do, just because, we all know the stereotypes that people think Black women can't grow hair, or, all these other things. And then now to lose it, when you're dealing with cancer and stuff like that, and you don't know how you're going to look without your hair. You don't know, am I going to look like a dude? Am I going to, my femininity, this cancer is already attacking one of my feminine traits. One of the things that makes a woman in society's eyes. And yeah, I felt bad for her. It was very emotional, and yeah, it was hard to see.
Again, had I watched the scene and not know that Gertie was defeated, beat it on the road back to recovery, that I don't know if I could have finished watching that scene. So that was a saving grace, knowing that she's healthy now. I was like, okay, just get through this, we're good. So yeah, everybody's starting to get ready for the party. Marisol calls Adriana and congratulates her, wishes her luck. Marisol is unable to make the party because her and her husband, Steve, are in Scotland on their vacation and are actually going to be renewing their vows. In their confessional, they both are kind of surprised at where their relationship is right now, because we saw at the end of last season, it kind of deteriorated to nothing. This season, they definitely have butted heads. Marisol in particular is like, you know what, she's an asshole, but I love her. We've known each other for too long. I'm going to congratulate her. Danny, while we were watching this, you let out a "oh," because then Adriana gets in her confessional and is like, "Oh, I'm so surprised she actually said she was happy for me. I wasn't expecting that. I thought I'm like, girl, we both were just take the thank you. Say thank you."
And it frustrated me because the same way that Marisol was woman enough to say, yeah, this lady annoys the hell out of me. There's evil sides to her. I genuinely love her. We know, Adriana, do you feel the same way? Because you wouldn't be craving her approval and friendship, because that's what all this stems from, is that you feel like she's down on you and that you don't want to lose that friendship. So, I mean, it's if every time I compliment you, genuinely, I see a comment like that or hear a comment like that, I'm gonna stop complimenting you.
Yeah.
She did it to Marisol's face right when she got off the stage, and Marisol congratulated her in Mexico City. And now when Marisol watches the episode back, she's gonna see this. So it's just like, at some point, Adriana, stop. Like, I get that you love drama, but know when to turn it off and just be a human for a second. Like,
Yeah.
there were so many other ways she could have worded that. Like, that was such a nice surprise. I didn't expect that. I didn't see it come. And people can't say, "Oh well, you know, she didn't have time to think about it." Yes, she did, because
she did. That was a confessional.
Confessionals are filmed way after, like, you know. So I just think I sometimes know how to turn it off. Like the thing that I see about Adriana is that I look at her most time as an actress on the show.
Yeah. And
that she's always a producer, like she's always plotting and scheming. There's moments where I want to see Adriana be human, and I think she missed an opportunity there to be human.
Yeah, it's, you know, she has a job, and she takes this job very seriously.
But part of that job is being real.
Yeah. So the ladies are heading to the party. Alexia and Julia are riding together, which I was a little shocked at, but I guess because Marisol is not there, Alexia has to ride with somebody. And Nicole and Gertie are riding together. Both cars are talking about Larsa. And it seems like everybody kind of has a little bit of an issue. Like Alexia is agreeing. Alexia and Julia are talking about like the weird conversation, the stuff with Scotty. And then obviously Nicole and Gertie are talking about, I mean, Gertie is pissed in that van. Like Gertie, Gertie like doesn't know what to do with herself. As the ladies all arrive, we see all their fashions. You and I both were in agreement. Alexia looked absolutely beautiful. You know, we always give it to Gertie and Nicole and Kiki because, I mean, they don't miss. They always look great. Alexia, in my opinion, Alexia looked the best at this finale party. Like, she just, like, my God. It was very giving Veronica Lake, Jessica Rabbit. I loved it. But, of course, every single one of these ladies looked amazing at this party consistently. It's like every season, they just look great when they get together. Well, as they sit down, Larsa kind of is talking about Marcus, and the ladies are all kind of looking around at each other, and there's an elephant in the room. Larsa's, you know, dodging the questions that are kind of lingering, and she's putting on this facade like everything is great. So Julia's messy ass finally just hops in and was like, you know, it's so nice that you're finally sharing things. Like, we love to see this. And Larsa, I think, was waiting for somebody to kind of like just bring that up. And she's like, all right, well, like, you know, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm not going to get involved in these comments. It's not my place to talk about them. It's not your business for me to say. And Julia has a point and says, you know, you getting defensive is weird if you don't have anything to hide. Why don't you just discuss your relationship?
I kind of side with Larsa on this because I would have gotten defensive too. Because first of all, like, in my opinion, right, of all people to feel like they should question Larsa, why you, Julia? Larsa has never really pried into any of her stuff. I can't think of a scene where Larsa has really questioned anything that Julia has had going on.
He said she made out with the man at a party last year.
That's fine. Put that out there. And she tore her up for filth too. So I mean, it's just like, you know, and I get that maybe Julia's role is becoming the bone collector and stuff. But I just, you know, and I said this to you when we were watching it, I don't want that to become Julia's main role. I want her to stay like she is and just do a little bit of it at a time. Like, I don't want Julia to be known as the messy one now that we can't talk in front of, or you got to be careful what you say in front of her, because one of the most endearing things about Julia has always been the genuine way in which she reacts to things. Yeah. And I also think, like you say before, Julia doesn't always articulate herself the best. And I think, you know, what she says, Larsa, we care about you. We love you. I want to learn more about you. And when you don't share, and then when you do share, we hear something different than what comes out in public. You know, at the end of the day, they can't really just assume that Larsa is lying. Like I said, Larsa could have been told by Marcus. She could have asked Marcus, what does your dad think about this? Oh, he's good with it. He's good with it. Like, as far as Larsa knows, what she said was the truth.
Yeah, I agree. We love a messy housewife, but we all have seen multiple housewives that start their couple of seasons as being messy and start some stuff, and we love it. And then inevitably there comes a point when we're like, we are tired. Like, stop. It doesn't have to be.
Remain the nice one.
Yes. Yeah, don't get into the one, like you said, where people can like, oh, here come Julia, we got to shut up now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so while they're doing this, Adriana's backstage, getting ready for her performance. Emilio comes in and just kind of congratulates her, says that after he's done, or after she's done, him and his band are going to play from her. And like, that's really an honor because that's Emilio Estefan. Like, he's not out there playing for just random people. So I really want to know, what is it like? Good for Adriana. Like, this random housewife from Cuba is on television, has been off for 8 years, pops up and is like hanging out with Emilio Estefan and has him popping up on the TV show, like working with her. Like, that's a big deal. So good for her.
It is. And I think, but I also think this helps Emilio as much as her.
Yeah.
Because Emilio certainly is a legend, but a lot of the newer generation, they know his name, but they don't know the history or the magnitude of who he is
outside the Latino community.
Yeah. Well, even then, like, my 25-year-old niece doesn't know. I mean, my 25-year-old cousin doesn't know much about him.
Wait, does she live in Florida?
She does. And
y'all ain't teaching the kids?
She knows him as Gloria Estefan's husband. Most people just know him as married to her, a lot of the younger generation. So this is I like this because he is benefiting from it.
Yeah.
We do have and I think it happens in every culture. Like, if I ask, my coworker was recently talking about that her kid asked her, who was this baby face that won an award with SZA at the Grammys? You see, so like, we know they're legends, but like stuff like this helps me because, it's nice to know that he's worked with Maluma, Bad Bunny, all the people. Like, people didn't know that, and like, that it brings attention to him too. So I'm kind of glad that he's on there because he is a treasure. Stands up for a lot of human rights and stuff. And I hope this prompts people to do research into him and Gloria and what they do because they're really good people.
Absolutely. So after this scene, we get everybody. Excuse me. I don't know what was up there, but my allergies been kicking my butt since we got back. Like, I cannot like stop clearing my throat. It's probably the liquor, guys. We drank a lot over the weekend. My God. So then back with everybody else, Larsa says that she feels like she's gotten close with everybody and feels like everybody is on, a good point with her, even if they didn't start there. She looks at Nicole and was like, have we not? She was doing this in reference to Julia saying she doesn't share with people. She's kind of aloof. And Nicole says, yeah, we have. We did not start that way, but we definitely have had conversations where we're getting better. I listened to Nicole's verbiage, though, because
I'm just going to go there.
Nicole didn't say that we're good friends. She's like, we've gotten better. We talk.
No, it wasn't just that. Yeah, you and I have gotten better. And then she instantly pivoted. Like, Alexia, me and you talked on the phone for 45 minutes the other day. When have we ever done that? The question wasn't, Nicole, are you good with Alexia? The question was, Nicole, we're good.
Nicole, you good with me? She's like,
the example you used was you being on the phone with Alexia.
So nobody wants to claim a friendship with Larsa. Gertie uses this as an opportunity to be like, well, let's start this. She says, you can say that you're good with everybody. And I thought that we were good on the Mexico trip. We seemed to put stuff behind us, but you showed me that we weren't good. The thing that took me out before anybody could say anything, Alexia smiles and randomly is just like, I'm glad I could bring everybody together. And I'm like, girl, not now. Read the room. We get it. That was your trip, but not now. So Gertie just kind of airs for grievances. She doesn't like that Larsa leaks things to the press consistently. She doesn't seem that she ever considers or has considered Gertie's feelings. So then Larsa brings up Gertie biting her. Oh my God, you bit me and you want an apology? You bit, and like just keeps repeating it. And I'm like, girl, calm down. She didn't bite you. They're arguing kind of back and forth. You what?
That bothers me because she makes the bite sound so evil, and it was
like it was malicious.
Granted, yes, if you're not someone who plays like that, I can understand you not liking it. But the fact that you didn't say much in the moment or say much to me that you didn't like it, and then turn around and go to the press and say you wanted the housewives.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think was going to happen with that statement?
Exactly. So they're obviously getting louder and louder. Larsa doesn't know how to have a conversation without yelling, and Gertie absolutely is going to be loud whenever she's upset or passionate about something. The party is kind of looking. People are kind of pausing. Everybody's like, yo, I need y'all to, like, let's bring it down. Like, come on. Kiki is very you. I don't know if you noticed it, but Kiki was on the side and she said, Oh,
I noticed it. I was embarrassed for them because that was embarrassing.
yeah. Uh, and then it just kind of comes to a head with Larsa screaming, "Why don't you go take care of your health, Gertie?" And all the ladies are taken aback. Like that was absolutely. If you're trying to prove to somebody that you do consider their feelings and you are sorry about leaking their medical diagnosis to other people, you're not screaming, "Go take care of your health." To try to win an argument. So they're just getting louder and louder. Kiki's kind of jumping in, telling Gertie, like, no, like we don't need to do this. Like this is not the place. Like it's fine. Let's end it. Gertie's telling Larsa that she's fake and inauthentic. And then in a confessional, Larsa says, "Well, Gertie isn't the only one that's sick. This fighting with Gertie has sickened me. I'm just tired. I don't want to fight with her." And I have never seen a housewife be more delusional or lack self-awareness or any awareness for anybody. Because in what world is you being tired of fighting with somebody comparable to them battling cancer? So we'll pause there. Danny.
Oh yes. So here's the thing. Larsa eats
Larsa.
It has. So here's the thing. If I'm Larsa, would I be annoyed with that every time I'm around Gertie, it seems to be an issue about something I did? Absolutely. But Larsa, yes, you can be annoyed that there's always something, but there's an easy fix for that. Stop doing it. Stop doing the stuff that you know.
Stop it.
It'd be easier to be on your side if Gertie was coming at you with things that weren't legitimate. Like at the end of the day, like I said, the purpose behind that, I call that almost a salacious plan, like a salacious rumor plan, because you know it's gonna seem like, oh my gosh, something happened, and girl, you know she did it playfully, like cut that out. And then you know when she said that whole comment about go take care of your health, go focus on your health, that gave me Gary, I can't fix your childhood trauma.
Yeah.
That's what that gave me. And there's a part of me that I want to agree with Larsa. Go take care of your health. Stop arguing with this thing. Stop arguing with Larsa. It's never going to change.
Yeah.
So stop arguing over all this stuff. So there's the part that I want to agree with Larsa in that aspect of take care of your health. Don't focus on her. She's irrelevant at this point when it comes to your health. But you know, I don't know. Like, I would have, if it was me and if I was Gertie, we never would have recovered from you spilling my diagnosis to the other girls.
Yeah.
We never would have.
I wouldn't have tried to formulate a friendship. Like
we would have been
done.
able to be cordial in the same space. I could even have fun with you when we're at events. Like, not cordial or in the same space or coexist like Giselle does with Wendy and Candace.
Yeah.
I mean, I could generally interact with you for the sake of that we're coworkers. But outside of that, I wouldn't be trying to build no friendship with you. So at some point, Gertie has to take responsibility for giving someone too many chances. That's already proven in her eyes that there's always going to be one thing after another.
Yeah. And, you know, it's through this whole thing, we've seen, again, people on social media and stuff saying Gertie should take care of her health. She shouldn't be there. She should, you know, whatever. And at the same time, I think I even commented on someone's post, because someone has an illness that doesn't automatically remove them, negate them, or protect them from the emotions that people who aren't battling illnesses feel. If anything, it probably intensifies because that stress that's added on what you're having. I don't believe that just because she's sick, Gertie should have automatically given something up. This is a job for her. This is a paycheck for her.
Mm-hmm.
When we're sick, a lot of us don't have the privilege to quit our jobs. Like she did what she did. She's allowed to argue. Just because you're sick doesn't mean that you're not allowed to argue. You're not allowed to air grievances. But also, I don't believe that the ladies should tiptoe around it either. If Larsa genuinely has is upset or frustrated, she's allowed to feel that. My issue with Larsa is the way that she articulates that and her lack of accountability for her bad behavior around that. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's no, you may be tired of Gertie coming for you. You can articulate that. Gertie, let's stop doing this. Like, I'm not going to go back and forth with you. is one
Yeah,
thing, but screaming, "Go take care of your health," like, girl.
I couldn't be I couldn't be friends or try to be friends with somebody that every time I'm expressing how I feel, you instantly go on the defense, and I can't even finish what I'm saying. Like I would have been stopped. And I'm not saying that Larsa has been wrong in every instance since she's been on the show.
Yeah.
But every instance I've seen with Gertie this season, Larsa has not been in the right.
Yeah. And it's, you know, even Alexia, while they're doing this and immediately after Larsa screams this, Alexia has a confessional, and she was like, look, like that, even if you're angry, if you're upset, like if had it been me, if it were me, I would not be arguing with Gertie. I would not be telling her these things. I'd be saying, even if I was right, I would say, okay, Gertie, we'll talk later, or you're right. I'm not going to argue with this. And I'm like, look at Alexia, who will argue with a brick wall.
But again, it's easy for Alexia to say that because she's not the one doing it.
Right, because I want to see that happen. Because I think Alexia would argue with her.
I really do. I 100% do.
So Lisa jumps in, trying to defuse the situation, and she only intensifies it. And Gertie very much articulates, Lisa, I feel like you have been her spokesperson for this, and and she was succinct. She was like, you have continuously defended her bad behavior. Like, I don't want to hear from you right now. Larsa starts screaming. Julia then is jumping at Larsa. It's like, girl, let Gertie speak, Larsa. Like, stop. Then Larsa screaming at Julia, stay out of it. It has nothing to do with you. Why are you talking? And then it just continues to escalate. Gertie tells people, it's like, I'm starting chemo tomorrow. We can't even like get along. This is what I'm dealing with today. not Danny. Please. And you would think that would put a kibosh in it. Larsa gave it all of 2 seconds before she was like, okay, well, still, I don't like that you blah, 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 blah.
So,
and I know. So let me
I'll wait till you finish.
So Russell is seeing things, watching this, and when that happens, when Larsa is coming, Russell kind of rushes in. He takes Gertie away. You can tell he's pissed. He's not talking to anybody else. He's telling Gertie, stop. Why are you dealing with this? Stop. Don't engage. Then Larsa starts, get your wife, Russell. And that's when I'm like, ma'am, because if that man responds to you, now you're a victim, and Marcus is going to want to come and play Captain Save-A-Ho. So Russell looks at her and just says, Larsa, be respectful. And she's still screaming at him, get your wife, she blah, blah, blah. Larsa, be respectful. And I got to hand it to Russell. We say the husbands need to stay out of women's business, but this is an example of how you address something, but keep it respectful, keep it quiet. And he immediately then pivots back to Gertie and takes her out of the situation. So we'll pause there. Danny.
So when you mentioned, so here's 2 things. I'm glad Lisa got tore up by Gertie. It was well deserved because here's the thing, Lisa, you just came back from a trip where Larsa didn't have your back once. Why are you jumping to have her back here with Gertie? It don't make sense. I don't know if she feels that Larsa is the only friend she has in this group, which might be true.
A little bit true.
A little truth. As much as a friend as Larsa can be. But you mentioned that, one would think that Gertie showing her shaved head would have had an effect. I didn't think it would, because this seems to be a repeat pattern for Gertie. In the middle of an argument, it's dropping a bomb like, oh, and by the way, I have to have a second surgery, or boom, look at me, look what I'm going through. Like, and it's valid. I think in her mind, she does it to say, what we're arguing about is stupid shit.
Yeah.
These, you could be dealing with this. Like,
these are big things.
I see people on Twitter saying that, she seems to at times weaponize her cancer diagnosis and stuff and what she's going through. And while I don't necessarily agree with that, I can understand why people would view that, especially if someone's a Larsa fan, or, you're giving them a talking point. I don't think her intention is to one up anybody, and be like, oh, this, that, or the other. I think her genuine intent is hoping that it'll be a wake-up moment like, yeah, well, we're arguing right now. It's really petty compared to what's happening over here. I really think
she's trying to shut it down, just like, shut up.
But it didn't have that effect because they still continued. I mean, even the first time she did it at Marisol's party, Lisa kept saying, "Oh, okay, bye," and then when I was talking to Kiki, what? I'm not gonna. I don't care. I'm not gonna let you know. Like it's just. So I
But
really would just like. There's some things that I want Gertie to keep private and just with those that care about her. This other lady would have never knew my hair was gone. I would have been wearing a wig around them all the time, just because
yeah.
I know they don't have genuine intentions with me.
Well, and she had a wig. She had a wig at the party, and I have a feeling that like Gertie does that. The people that she talks to on a daily basis, Nicole, Nicole absolutely knew. I feel like Julia, she probably is communicating with Julia, but honestly,
Alexia,
these
no.
Alexia did not know. But
Her
also, her and
reaction.
Alexia,
Oh, oh,
yeah, why they may be cool. Like I think that she sees the way these women move, like particularly after Larsa. Like you, this isn't like, oh well, we're buying a new house, so we're selling our house. Like this is some like serious shit.
yeah.
So like there is discernment involved when I'm telling somebody something. Again, Gertie is a control freak. She wants to control how information gets out. So I can imagine
And it's her right because it's her situation.
yeah. And so and again, two things can be true. Gertie can have every right to use her medical diagnosis to be like, y'all are arguing over some petty shit. Like, shut up. We're adults. Shut up. And then the other ladies also have every right to like, well, damn. But
And can you just tell us
yeah,
some news in a non-bombshell manner, like
yeah.
because I
So
feel
I
like
mean, it's
that type
but
of
the
news
thing
should
that
be
sets
seen.
Lisa,
I'm sorry.
keep going. So, go, 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 go.
No, I was gonna say because that type of news should be met with sympathy from the other women because you're definitely
Absolutely.
at empathy, but in the middle of an argument, it's hard to give that news the attention that it rightfully deserves, and
Yeah.
for them to comfort her the way they should be doing versus it being brushed off due to it being dropped like a bomb in the middle of an argument.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. For the most part, the ladies are getting the information, even on like Twitter and stuff. Like we see Alexia and Marisol, like everybody's kind of around her and supporting her. And like over the past couple of months, I have seen comments and stuff. The only one I really haven't seen has been Larsa or Lisa. And I mean, that could be they may not be on Twitter, they may not be on
I
Instagram
don't
the way that
expect
they're
nothing from
there.
Lisa, but let's talk
But
about herself.
definitely Marisol and Kiki, and the ladies that, and I see that. Like you said, Alexia's reaction was genuine. All right, so let's wrap this up. Let's finish this up so you can get to your other job. uh, so after Gertie is taken away, he takes outside. Lisa runs after her, and I'm like, of all the people here, Lisa, why do you think she wants to see you right now? Gertie doesn't want to hear it, and Russell even is kind of like, "Well, Lisa, please, like, let's just go." And Russell's having a conversation with his wife, and he's pissed. Like you can tell, he's like, "Why do you engage in that? Like, why do you give a damn what these people are saying? Like, you're not going to get through to her. Like, you're not going to get through to her." And Lisa's like, "Talk to me, wait, Gertie, talk to me." And Lisa's like, "Hey, no, ma'am, we're not doing that right now." And Gertie does tell her, saying, like, you know what, Lisa, now is not the time. Like, I genuinely do not want to hear from you right now. And Gertie, like, Lisa stands there, like, almost on the verge of tears. And Nicole is like, give her some damn space. Like, she's not going to want to talk to you in this moment. And it was like, this moment was when I looked at Nicole and was like, damn, that therapy is working for you. Because she broke it down and said, I know Gertie. She's mad. She's not going to hear it. Let her talk to you whenever she's over things.
I loved
like,
hearing Nicole say, "That's my best friend."
Yes,
I
Nicole rides for her. Nicole rides for her. And then if you notice, Nicole didn't even go up to her. Nicole said, I respect her space. That's her and her husband. So we're going to stay right here and we're just going to let them do what they need. But then Kiki bypassed security and is running out and is like, Russell, wait, Gertie, you have to talk to me. I sprained my ankle coming over here. And I was like, God damn, Kiki. But it's that thing that kind of broke the ice. And she's like, don't leave. Let's go back in. And so Gertie is kind of, it flips. And then Gertie is like trying to calm down Russell because that man pissed. Like, he is mad that happened. But it's like, all right, cool, we're done. Let's go back in. The ladies are all trying to regroup. Tensions are still high, but they managed to get together for Adriana's performance. She comes out and debuts. I think it was Huevalo was the name of the song. It's a cute little bop.
It's not fire.
I'll put it on my playlist. Me gusta la beat. And then we get an in package the ladies are all just kind of like talking about the future. Marisol is renewing her vows. She looked really pretty, her and Steve, renewing their vows. Nicole announces that she's pregnant with a girl, I believe. Lisa's moved into a new condo, and we see that Lenny has contested the settlement again.
That he agreed to.
That he presented, which surprises nobody. Gertie is cancer-free. She's ringing the bell. She's living life. And I think since she's been cancer-free, it's been a few months, and she's I'm keeping up with her on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and stuff. Like she's living her life. She's hanging out with Nicole, Adriana. She's been in pictures with Marisol and Alexia. Like, it's good to see some of the ladies are rallying around her and really just like sticking around with her. I'm interested to see what this reunion looks like, because we all know reunions can go any damn directions regardless of how the season went. So, yeah. Danny, what are your thoughts about this end in part?
It was a nice ending. I feel that the season, we got just enough episodes. I think the biggest thing for me this season, honestly, was I ended up liking Marisol again this season.
Yeah. Sometimes.
No, I actually, even when she was mad about the whole Anna thing, like I understood. Like, I wouldn't want her around me either. Like,
Marisol, and Anna showed up in the finale, by the way. Yeah. Sorry, Anna showed up. She didn't do anything, but she showed up.
But I think that was the biggest thing that I got from me this season. There's something I did not expect. We already knew about Gertie's cancer before going in, so that wasn't a shock to me. But what I got, two things that I enjoyed this season was liking Marisol again. It caught me off guard, and learning more about Kiki.
Yes,
because we don't learn enough about her. So those are the two things that surprised me and that I enjoyed most about this season, honestly.
I agree. Well, I mean, I've always loved Marisol, and so I know for the past 2 seasons you have not. It's good.
This is again.
This is their 3rd of the reboot.
No, all together, Miami.
6. So you haven't liked her for 5 seasons.
Correct.
You said do the math, do your investigation. But that's growth. Like, anytime a housewife stays in the same position, you could say I've always loved her, and I don't feel that's genuine, or they're not doing enough. But if they're the villain the entire time too, you're like, God, can you do something that I can like rally behind? Like, we want to love you at some point. I agree. This show, right number of episodes, they probably could have even like reeled it in maybe 1 episode before. Because there wasn't a lot going on here. I understand they wanted to end it on a party. But also, I think this is the first time in Housewives history that a friend has thrown the finale party. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, all in all, this season was fantastic. I really, again, I hate that these ladies aren't getting the attention and the viewers that they deserve, because they have delivered consistently since they came back on the air. Miami definitely is top 3 franchises that we have seen over the last couple of months that have been on air. Some of our tried and trues have given us very, very lackluster content. So it's good to see a group of ladies that genuinely works together. I don't want any changes for next year. Honestly, I don't think that we're there yet. But we'll see how this reunion goes.
Cast members yet.
I'm good. I mean, even the conversation on Twitter is always like, who would you promote, or who would you make a friend of? And it's like there's nobody on the main cast that I think deserves a demotion. Even Lisa and all of her insufferable glory.
Promote the 3 friends and make everybody a cast member.
Exactly. Like, have 10 damn full-time housewives. Like, they're working. Everybody is working. Like, there's never a time when I'm like, why are we getting a package of her? It's like, great. Yes, I want more. Well, maybe Lisa. But she got 1 more season to see if she can not be a Lisa.
And a season and a half.
So, with that, Danny, do you have any parting words before we wrap this up, so you can take a quick break before you have to recap Potomac?
No, nothing. Just, it was a great season. I'll see y'all at the reunion.
Yes, so guys, we will definitely keep you up to date on when the reunion is, how we're going to split it up. Just know Thursday, we are doing our live reunion recap of Miami. Has not been decided if it's going to be 1 episode or if it's going to be both of the episodes together. like, subscribe, sign up for notifications. We will try to let you guys know when we decide it on our other shows because we know that we've got a lot of viewership spillover. Tonight, we are doing Married to Medicine finale and Potomac finale. Was tonight the finale of Potomac? Or last night, the finale of Potomac? I don't know. I feel like Potomac is never going to end because I haven't seen it.
I don't remember. It's like the song that never ends.
I know that it's the Married to Medicine
like the
finale.
song.
And then we've got Wednesday, the Beverly Hills reunion part 1. And then again, Thursday, the Housewives of Miami reunion. If you guys watch Summer House, Martha's Vineyard, that is coming back on next month. And we've got a treat for you guys. I think we are going to have, or we're working on having an all-female panel with all of our newbies mixed in with Miss Jasmine and Miss Asia who have been here. So that way you guys can see those ladies in there. And some of us may pop up from time to time to help out, but we're really excited to do something different on the lean. So thank you guys so much for watching this later. Danny, thank you for joining me. We will see you guys. Well, Danny will see you guys in 30 minutes when he has to go live.
Depending on when this airs.
Listen, that's true. We need to tell Cortez he got to load it. So, all right, guys, thank y'all so much for joining us. Like, subscribe, share this video. Danny, I will see you later on.
Bye-bye.